What if the most important truth in your life is also the one nobody has ever been able to fully explain? Not because humanity hasn't tried, but because some mysteries grow deeper the more we search for answers. Today we're exploring a question that has challenged philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for thousands of years. The truth nobody can explain. Maybe the very reason you're here. Before we ask why we are here, before we ask what our purpose is, before we try to explain the universe, there is one truth so extraordinary that we often overlook it simply because we experience it every day. You exist. Take a moment to truly think about that. Not tomorrow. Not yesterday. Right now. You are conscious. You can think. You can imagine. You can question your own existence. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. Out of an unimaginably vast universe, filled with billions of galaxies and countless stars, somehow you became aware. Not just alive, but conscious. You are able to ask questions that no mountain can ask. You can wonder in ways no ocean can wonder. You can look at the night sky and ask, why am I here? If you really stop and think about it, that is astonishing. Every person spends so much time searching for answers that they rarely stop to appreciate the miracle of the question itself. Because before there can be purpose, before there can be meaning, before there can be dreams, there first has to be existence. And existence is something no one has ever fully explained. Science can describe how stars are born. It can explain the movement of planets. It can uncover the building blocks of matter. It has revealed incredible truths about the universe. But there is still a profound mystery that remains. Why is there something instead of nothing? Why does consciousness exist at all? Why is there a universe capable of producing beings who can wonder about the universe? The deeper we search, the more mysterious these questions become. Every answer seems to uncover another layer of mystery waiting beneath it. It's like standing in front of an endless horizon. No matter how far you walk, there is always more beyond what you can see. And maybe that's what makes existence so incredible. Not that we have every answer, but that we are capable of searching for them. Think about your own life. Out of all the possibilities that could have existed, out of countless moments throughout history, your story is unfolding right now. You have hopes, memories, dreams, fears, people you love, moments that shaped you. None of those experiences have ever happened in exactly the same way before, and they never will again. Your existence is completely unique, and yet, like every human being who has ever lived, you are part of a mystery far greater than yourself. Perhaps the greatest truth nobody can explain isn't hidden in some distant galaxy or ancient secret. Perhaps it is the simple, breathtaking fact that awareness exists at all. Because before we understand the meaning of life, we must first recognize the wonder of being alive. And maybe the greatest mystery isn't that we don't have every answer. Maybe the greatest mystery is that we are here to ask the questions in the first place. Now, let's go even deeper. What if the world you experience every single day is only a tiny fraction of what reality actually is? At first, that sounds impossible. After all, you can see the world around you. You can hear sounds. You can touch objects. You can taste food. You can smell the air after it rains. It feels as though you're experiencing reality exactly as it is. But are you? Everything you know about the universe reaches you through your senses. Your eyes translate light into images. Your ears transform vibrations into sound. Your brain assembles countless electrical signals into what you call reality. But here's the astonishing part. You never experience reality directly. You experience your brain's interpretation of reality. Think about that for a moment. The colors you see, the sounds you hear, the emotions you feel, even your perception of time itself, all of it is filtered through a mind that is constantly interpreting information. That means your experience of reality is shaped not only by the world around you, but also by the way your mind processes it. Two people can witness the exact same event and walk away with completely different memories. The world hasn't changed. Their perception has. And perhaps that's one of the greatest mysteries no one can fully explain. How much of reality exists beyond what we can perceive? The universe is unimaginably vast. There are distant galaxies whose light has traveled for billions of years before reaching us. There are forces we cannot see, particles we cannot observe with the naked eye, and phenomena that continue to challenge our understanding. The more we discover, the more we realize how much remains unknown. It's almost as if every scientific breakthrough, opens another door to an even greater mystery. The horizon keeps moving. The answers keep expanding. And maybe that's because reality is far larger than the limits of human perception. Imagine trying to understand the entire ocean by examining a single drop of water. No matter how carefully you study it, the drop can never reveal the full depth of the sea. Perhaps our understanding of existence is similar. We see only a small piece of an infinite picture, yet we often mistake that small piece for the whole. Maybe that's why people become so certain about things they cannot possibly know with complete confidence. The deeper you explore reality, the more humility begins to replace certainty. You realize that knowledge is powerful, but awareness of what you don't know is even more powerful, because perhaps the truth nobody can explain isn't hidden from us. Perhaps it's simply far greater than anything our minds are capable of fully understanding. And maybe true wisdom begins the moment we stop assuming we've seen all there is to see. Did you like this feature? Now consider perhaps the greatest paradox of all. The human mind has explored the universe, yet it still cannot fully explain itself. Think about what your mind is capable of. It can imagine worlds that don't exist. It can remember moments from years ago. It can create music, discover scientific laws, write poetry, build civilizations, and dream about the future. It can ask questions that have no obvious answers. And yet, despite all of this incredible power, one question remains astonishingly difficult. What is consciousness? How is it that a collection of cells inside the brain creates the experience of being you? No one can point to the exact place where awareness begins. No one can explain why thoughts feel personal. No one can fully describe why there is an inner voice silently listening to these words right now. The more you think about it, the stranger it becomes. Your mind is attempting to understand the very thing that allows understanding. It's like an eye trying to see itself without a mirror, or a book trying to read its own pages. The observer and the mystery are the same. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some inspire you, some frighten you, some disappear forever. Others remain with you for decades. But have you ever stopped to ask where those thoughts come from? Did you choose every thought that entered your mind today? Or did many of them simply appear? And if they appeared on their own, who was the one observing them? This is where certainty begins to disappear. You realize that you can observe your thoughts, which means you are not every thought you think. You can notice your emotions, which means you are more than every emotion you feel. There seems to be an awareness quietly watching everything unfold, a silent observer that remains present through every stage of your life. As a child, as a teenager, as an adult, your body changes. Your beliefs change. Your memories change. Even your personality evolves. Yet something inside you continues to experience it all. What is that presence? Where does it come from? No one has been able to answer these questions completely, and perhaps that is why the human mind remains one of the greatest mysteries in existence. The universe may contain billions of galaxies, but the most unexplored universe may be the one that exists within your own awareness. Because every discovery about the outside world begins with the mind, yet the mind itself continues to stand before us as a mystery no one can fully explain. And perhaps the truth nobody can explain is not somewhere beyond the stars. Perhaps it has been quietly observing them through your eyes all along. And then we arrive at one of the most fascinating contradictions of human life. We spend so much time searching for the meaning of life that we often forget to actually live it. From childhood, we're taught to keep looking ahead, study harder, work harder, earn more, achieve more, reach the next milestone, the next promotion, the next goal, the next version of yourself. Life becomes a series of destinations. We convince ourselves that happiness is waiting somewhere in the future, so we keep chasing. When I graduate, when I get that job, when I earn enough money, when I buy that house, when everything finally comes together, then I'll truly live. But something remarkable happens. That future eventually becomes the present. And instead of slowing down, we create another destination, another goal, another reason to postpone the life we're trying so desperately to build. If you think about it, that's a strange way to exist. We are constantly preparing to live, without realizing that life is happening while we're preparing. Every sunrise, every conversation, every laugh, every challenge, every quiet moment, they never return. Time doesn't pause while we search for meaning. It continues moving silently and relentlessly. And one day we look back, not at the things we owned, not at the titles we collected, but at the moments we experienced, the people we loved, the kindness we shared, the courage we showed, the memories we created. Because those are the things that remain meaningful long after achievements fade. This doesn't mean goals are unimportant. Dreams matter. Growth matters. Purpose matters. But they should enrich your life, not postpone it. The greatest paradox is that many people spend their entire lives trying to understand the purpose of existence while missing the experience of existing. They become so focused on finding the answer that they stop noticing the miracle of the journey. Maybe meaning is not hidden at the end of the road. Maybe it is found in every step along the way, in being fully present, in appreciating the ordinary moments that quietly become extraordinary memories, in recognizing that this very moment, right now, is a part of your life that you will never experience again. And perhaps that is the truth nobody can explain. Life keeps moving whether we understand it or not. The question is not whether time will pass. The question is whether we will truly be awake enough to live while it does. Because in the end, the deepest meaning of life may never be found by endlessly searching for tomorrow. It may be discovered by fully embracing the only moment we have ever truly been given today. There comes a point where every honest search for truth reaches an unexpected conclusion. Not every truth can be explained. Some truths can only be experienced. Think about the most meaningful moments of your life. Can you truly explain what love feels like? Not define it. Not describe its chemical reactions, but explain the feeling itself. Can you fully explain why a piece of music gives you chills? Why a sunset can leave you speechless? Why holding the hand of someone you care about can bring a sense of peace that words fail to capture? You can describe these experiences. You can study them. You can even measure certain physical responses, but the experience itself remains deeply personal. No formula can contain it. No language can completely express it. And perhaps that tells us something profound about reality. We often assume that if something cannot be fully explained, it must somehow be less real. But what if the opposite is true? What if the deepest parts of life are the very things that escape complete explanation? Think about courage. No one can hand you courage. You discover it only in the moment you choose to act despite fear. Think about forgiveness. It isn't simply an idea. It becomes real only when your heart lets go of resentment. Think about hope. No scientific instrument can measure its true value. Yet hope has carried people through wars, disasters, illness, and impossible circumstances. These experiences cannot be reduced to simple definitions because they are meant to be lived, not merely understood. Perhaps this is why the greatest teachers throughout history often shared stories instead of perfect answers. Because stories invite experience. They awaken something within us that facts alone cannot reach. The truth changes from information into transformation. And maybe that is the difference. Knowledge fills the mind. Experience shapes the soul. You can read 1,000 books about the ocean. You can memorize every fact about its waves, its tides, and its depths. But none of that compares to standing on the shore, feeling the wind against your face, hearing the waves crash, and watching the horizon stretch beyond imagination. Only then do you truly know something that words alone could never teach. Life works the same way. Some truths reveal themselves only through living, through loss, through love, through failure, through wonder, through moments of silence when the world suddenly feels larger than your understanding. Perhaps the truth nobody can explain was never hidden because it was impossible to find. Perhaps it was hidden because it could never be captured by explanations alone. Some truths are not waiting to be solved. They are waiting to be experienced. And maybe the deepest wisdom begins when we stop demanding that every mystery be explained and start allowing ourselves to be transformed by simply living it. What if the mystery itself is the truth? For most of our lives, we are taught that every question has an answer, every puzzle has a solution, every mystery can eventually be explained. That belief has driven incredible discoveries. It has pushed humanity to explore the oceans, reach the stars, and unlock secrets hidden deep within nature. But there comes a point where even the greatest discoveries reveal something unexpected. The more we know, the more we realize how much we don't know. Every answer opens the door to 10 new questions. Every mystery solved reveals an even greater mystery waiting beyond it. Perhaps that isn't a limitation. Perhaps that's an invitation to remain curious, to remain humble, to never lose the sense of wonder that makes us human. Think about the night sky. For thousands of years, people looked at the stars and wondered what they were. Today, we know far more than our ancestors ever imagined. Yet when we look into the universe, we don't feel less amazed. We feel even more amazed, because every discovery reveals just how vast reality truly is. Life works the same way. Maybe the goal was never to explain every mystery. Maybe the goal was to become the kind of person who never stops exploring. To live with curiosity instead of certainty. With gratitude instead of entitlement. With wonder instead of indifference. There is something beautiful about admitting that not everything can be placed into neat categories. Not every experience can be measured. Not every truth can be spoken. Some things must simply be lived. Maybe that's why moments of awe feel so powerful. Standing beneath a sky full of stars, watching the ocean meet the horizon, holding someone you love, sitting in complete silence and suddenly realizing that you are alive. Those moments don't demand explanations. They invite appreciation, and perhaps that is the greatest shift of all. Instead of asking, why can't I explain everything? We begin asking, what can this mystery teach me? That single change transforms confusion into curiosity, fear into fascination, uncertainty into possibility. Maybe the truth nobody can explain isn't a missing piece of knowledge. Maybe it is the reminder that existence is far more extraordinary than our words can ever describe. Because in the end, the greatest gift isn't having every answer. The greatest gift is waking up each day with the ability to ask meaningful questions, to seek wisdom, to grow through the unknown, and to find beauty in a universe that continues to surprise us. And perhaps the truth nobody can explain is also the truth that makes life endlessly worth exploring. The greatest mystery isn't hidden somewhere in the universe. It's the fact that you are here, conscious enough to wonder why. And perhaps the truth nobody can explain is also the truth that gives life its deepest meaning.